There we go. All right, everybody. This is Jennifer Hampton. Just wanted to have a quick meeting to talk about what's going on this season, kind of give you a little insight into the parent education portion, since you guys are kind of on the front line of all the parents that are wondering, why we're doing a goal kick the way we're doing it and getting scored on immediately and why that's a good thing. Um, and just kind of go over some of the nuts and bolts of being a team manager. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Talked about that. Okay, so I wasn't around when the club started. I know some of you guys were. But when Jeremy and the other guys decided to start the club, they wanted to service the elite athlete, and didn't feel like there was any club that was fitting the bill. And so it was a push to get better training, better games, make sure that the kids are good enough to play at the level that they want to play at, and not just do the kick and chase. We're faster and stronger than you, and we're going to win games. Because as we all know, your whole team is not going to college. It's the you as an individual, your child as an individual is trying to go play college soccer, pro soccer, and whatnot. And so, if your individual player is not up to snuff, there's really the club's doing your player disservice. Um, a little bit of a background of the how the growth has happened. Um, we're definitely over 1,000 players if you include the Sweet Feet people. And you can see the programs there were added. That's the order of adding things. There was Sweet Feet, then summer camps, the juggling curriculum, and then Sweet Feet is our first kind of soccer experience. We've had the Storm Soccer League. We're offering now morning training, winter training, summer training, and started in Hilton Head in Savannah, expanded to Statesboro and Hardyville, briefly in Richmond Hill. Um, the results are amazing. I wish I could put some sort of statistic out there about percent of players in our club versus percent that have done outstanding things. I really think we'd be right up there with all the clubs in America. Um, SRPL stands for the Southern Regional Premier League. It's kind of a prior rendition was called as the Region 3 Premier League. Our 99 boys, 99 girls, 01 girls, and 01 boys have all been in it for a while. Recently, we've also added the 03 boys, 03 girls, and 04 boys. And what this is it's a league outside of the state league. And so when the competition is, gets fiercer and fiercer as you get up. So this is a league outside of the South Carolina League. Obviously, everyone hopefully saw that the 99 boys did a first. I remember in the spring when we had our staff meeting, Jeremy was very happy with the results, but he just wasn't sure if we were going to ever be able to break the ceiling of having a state cup champion. Just because it's quite an accomplishment no matter the size of the club. So that was awesome. The 01 girls, 99 boys had previously been state cup finalists. For national team camp, we've had quite a few people get invited to camp. We also and Indy Vasilev was on that U17 team that the Tormenta guys just scrimmaged in Atlanta. And some of these guys are still playing for us, and some of them have moved on, but they were all invited while they were playing with us. Let's see here if I can keep going. Okay, our Region 3 pool just keeps getting bigger. I believe we had like 60 some odd kids go to region camp this year, and what that is they're on the South Carolina state team, and then you go get the Region 3, which is the southeastern United States, and you go compete against the best players, and then we are able to get kids on that pool. And then that's what just happened with ODP, if you were watching Facebook. And then what will happen is they'll come through those lists, and then we'll start having invitations to various trips. Some will be international, some will be local, there'll be national camps and stuff like that. So Um, all of these kids, and if you look on the right hand column, those are the most recent ones from this summer. So pretty awesome that our club is able to produce players that are technically and tactically aware enough to compete against the Amazonian women from Atlanta, or whatever the male analog is. This is the So Jeremy he's got his friend Thomas. He went to Belgium in 2015, and Thomas is the one that's coming this week to Hilton Head. And so and I'm going to just go ahead and play this. Um, and he was looking around at how these boys are training. And you can see they're all doing their crazy combos. You can catch a look at the wall in the back there. Those are the record breakers for the dribbling courses. You can see Peter there got 22.13. But the juggling curriculum and just plain old time on time and practice is really what's making our kids better. And so, and I don't think we have non-dominant thigh, head, non-dominant shoulder as a thing. So we'll have to add that one. That last guy was pretty cool. So we have the juggling curriculum. And like I said, that's one of the main things that people either call us crazy or genius over. But what it's great for is you can measure it. It's easy to know whether you're doing it right. You can get your positive reinforcement, and then you can have that internal reward. And I know some of you with their kids that are farther along. Oh man, Sean, sorry. I just saw Grant got left out. He made the pool. I'm gonna have to add that in. Sorry. But the must have been because the Ashley Hampton took all the Hampton parts out of there. All right, so and I will update that. So the juggling curriculum is it's fantastic. It's the devil. It's all those things. I remember when Ashley was real little, she was sure she would never, ever, ever pass 100 kick bounce. It was impossible. It was stupid. She kicked and screamed and cried, and then obviously she passed. And it's been like that for pretty much every surface until she grew up a little bit. But once they catch the fever, it's just amazing what they can do. In addition to the juggling curriculum, we've got a fast footwork curriculum, and that makes sure that your kids do not get left out of the stuff that they need to do. We go over them. We go over and over and over them. We want to make sure that they know how to do the move first, that they get better at it and do it perfectly. And then third is we go for speed. And so a lot of the kids want to go for speed first. But anyway, but the fact that that our kids, if you're out there watching them in the games, the footwork it really sets them apart. Dribbling courses, if you guys are out at practice, you'll sometimes see us set up with poles and cones and timing and all that stuff. That was one thing that Jeremy brought back from Belgium. This is a video of one of the dribbling courses. And we do, we only do one for time right now, but we have certain days set aside for the same reason, is that you can measure it. Everybody's on the same one, and you can see if they're getting any better. These are just some pictures of these guys. They really take pride in which circuit, and the time and all that stuff. This is something that is super handy to have in your back pocket if you have a parent that is very upset with some aspect of practice. And we do this we have this intentional rule. It's the 25-50-25 rule. And what that means is that 25% of the time your kid needs to be the best player in their group. 50% of the time they're the average player in the group, and 25% of the time they are the worst player in the group. And obviously, if a kid trains 5 days a week, it's much easier to get to this as opposed to an academy player who maybe, like if we've got a U9 kid that only comes out twice a week, it's a little bit harder. But what this is that we want when we set out the ability groups, obviously our practice looks a heck of a lot different than any practices going on around us. There's boys, there's girls, age doesn't matter. It's 100% based on ability. And then it is also based on trying to make sure that each individual player develops properly. So if a kid is always the best player in the group, then they're never going to get challenged. But if they're always drowning in the top group, then they're never going to do their move. They're going to worry about being silly because that top kid can can tackle them and make them look crazy. And so this is something that all the staff does. There's pre-planning involved. And so your kid might be in a top group one day, a medium group one day, and then the second from the bottom group one day. And it's all an intentional process in development there. When we're talking about how the players are going to develop, we want them to have comfort on the ball, confidence on the ball, and also be creative. And all of that has to be done just with the repetitions over and over and over again. All right. There's a inspirational quote. Okay, so does anybody want to? Let me see here. Can you unmute yourself? Let me see here. Just going to see if anybody had any comments or questions, but that's just kind of a parent education type discussion. Anybody have any questions? Type it in.
Not yet.
All right. So this next part is the development pathway. Some of you guys are newer to the system, and some of you have been around forever. So if you start in the middle, that's us. The smallest thing if you want to come out to Jennifer Ross or Barker, the first thing you can do is Sweet Feet Academy. Ages 4 to 8. It's sort of game-like. It's definitely movement education. You'll sometimes have 3 balls out on a game. They kind of do the one kid, one ball philosophy. The next stage up is pre-academy, and they'll get real games on Saturday. Try to get them out to practice twice a week, and those first 2 blocks are non-tryout. The next stage up, academy, is tryout based. That's our first tryout based program. You've got U9, U10, U11, and U12, which is by age group. And so we are at 2009s, 2008s, 2007s, and 2006 if you're going by birth year. This year will be in the academy program. And everything from academy on down, we really try to keep people home, train in your city, maybe travel a little bit, but go to an out-of-town tournament once or twice. And then once you hit select, that's the full 11v11 field. The 05s, 2005s will be the youngest select group. And that goes all the way up to our 99s currently. And they play in the state league, or they'll play in that SRPL I was talking about, the Southern Regional Premier League. And then depending on the team, there could be, you could be just going all over the place. And that's where we really start getting kids seen by college coaches and the showcase tournaments and all that stuff. So on the right, you'll see the U.S. Youth Soccer track. And so that's where if your kid wants to be on the national team, this is how you start. And so down at the bottom, they have, with Georgia Soccer anyway, they have a district training center in the wintertime. There's one in Richmond Hill, and so we've done that one. I certainly would recommend just going to winter training unless you happen to live in Richmond Hill. Not really worth the drive, but that's kind of dipping your toe into that. The State Olympic Development Program, that's where most of our kids jump in. The 07s, I think, were there today, but the 06s were the first real year to try out. And you go try out, you go once a month, starting in November, up to Columbia. If you play South Carolina, you gotta go to Atlanta. If you want to play Georgia ODP, our kids can play in either. And actually, there's really no limit or there's no geographical boundaries. You just have to pick one state. So if for some reason you wanted to go to North Carolina or Texas or whatever, you could. But those are the teams that get to go to Region Camp, which is where Region 3 camps in Alabama. And so then you go compete with hundreds and hundreds of people, and then they will pick that pool. And then kids will go on trips. And so if you go through Facebook, you'll see some of the trips that our kids have been on. If you make that Region 3 team and get invited, then you can go to a national team camp. You can maybe go to a training, get into that training environment and then get called in for going to different events. And so the U17 national team had an event in Atlanta. Kids got called in for that. And then they're training in anticipation of a World Cup coming up. And so that's kind of the track of on the Olympic side. On the left-hand side is the pro track. Right now, unfortunately, we're boy-oriented. I have heard that rumors that there may be a Tormenta FC girls PDL team, which it's actually called NPSL, I think, in the future. We'll have to bug Darren about that. But anyway, once our kids are at the select age, we try to help them meet their goals. They can go to college, which is always good. And then they can play in the PDL, which is the a minor league, kind of like, and that's where the Tormenta FC comes in Statesboro. We have an affiliation with the next level up, which is called the USL, which is with the Charleston Battery. And then our MLS affiliation is with Atlanta United. And the kids coming out of select, they can perhaps play on the PDL team if they are good enough. But certainly Coach Jeremy, Coach John, and all those guys are really good at getting our kids in front of the right coaches and things like that. Would anyone like to type a message or any questions about the development pathway? Alrighty then. Yay, team manager duties. Okay, so I'm going to open up the team manager protocol. There we are. All right. So I think you guys have had this for a little while. Page width. There we go. We'll go over Affinity in a little bit more detail. Affinity is where everything is done, league-wise, stuff like that. So and like I said, I'll go into that. But once you register as an admin and get your background check, I assign you to your team as an admin, and then you'll be able to do all the different things that need to be done in Affinity. For example, I've got player cards. You can see the league schedules, see if you need to request permission to travel and stuff like that. And I've got the appendix on that. For risk management, number one, we do a background check on everybody. So you've got to get that done if you're a new team manager. The team managers from last season, they're good for a couple years, so you'll be good to go. Also, there's a sexual abuse awareness training that everybody needs to do. We're getting better on our percent done. I'll resend that out if you haven't finished that out yet. But those are the two things that we do for all volunteers and all staff, just to try to make sure that we're on the lookout for the abuse, obviously, and that you guys aren't criminals. All right, communication. Number one, we know that team managers have a lot of information in their hands. They might have some good gossip, chit chat, all that stuff. We just want to make sure that we're being as professional as possible, and that we're not using your access to information in a negative way. When we email, the way we try to do the blind carbon copy for the parents, and then copy the coach if you want them on it, or me if you're sending them something that you'd want me to see. But that, number one, it just keeps it easier to reply, and people don't end up replying to all and getting off thread. But it also just keeps parents from just just starting a reply to all debacle. Our rosters are pretty much set for the select. The academy is still going back and forth, but your director will get you your roster. It'll have everyone's name, email, phone number, and jersey number. I think I have most of the jersey numbers correct on there. And just you can email your team and let them know who you are and to be nice to you. We are really trying to get a lot of information out through Facebook and Twitter, and we also now have an Instagram. I need to update that. There's a TFC Youth Instagram. You can see Miguel driving way past I-16 on his way to the Atlanta United event. So for banking, I could not. So Donis Markin, who's a lot of you guys know, has moved banks. She's gone to, I think it's Bank South. And so we finally got confirmation Friday that we're going to move our checking accounts there. So I'm hoping to have more information for you guys by Monday. But the gist of it is that you guys are going to have your own bank account with your team funds on it that Tormenta staff can see in there, and you can see, but it's a level of separation from the club so that when you guys are paying for your team specific costs, you guys can do that and it will only be your team's money that's going into that budget. So I will, I think I can do a lot of this banking stuff over the phone with Donis. I think I'm going to need your guys' driver's license, but I'm not sure if you're going to have to go into the bank. But we're theoretically supposed to be able to deposit checks on our phone and do things electronically. So it's going to be really cool if we can get that set up. Team budget. The select budget gets pretty hairy just because of all the different fees. The academy budgets are typically pretty basic, but what we'll do when you get your schedule from the coach and saying, hey, if you're in an academy, you're gonna play 10 academy games and you're gonna go to Charleston at the end of the season, then we'll get your guys' budgets together. Something that I always forget with the tournament entry fees is that most of them require online check-in, which is usually about $20. And then if you're going out of state, and even if you're a Savannah team manager, South Carolina is our state. So if you're going out of South Carolina, you have to request permission to travel, which South Carolina charges $30 for. So don't forget that. The coach travel fees. And then we also just try to put a buffer in there. If it starts getting crazy on the indoor facility fees, we'll pass that cost on. Any admin cost, if you guys use any, like if you need to go to Office Depot and laminate stuff, just make sure that you have a little buffer in there and aren't paying for that out of your pocket. We're going to do this team budget here as soon as we get our schedules. So we can't really turn those in until we know them. But as soon as we get our schedules from the coaches, you can do that team budget. I know some of the RPL teams have already submitted theirs, but the academy teams don't really have an idea. The select team managers have been in contact with you, but we have to collect fees now. It used to be that South Carolina didn't really care when we paid them the league fee, but now they need it before the scheduling meeting, which is next Sunday. So that's why we've got to collect stuff in advance. Fee collection. This is the worst. If you're a team manager, I'm going to amen. But no amens. Nobody's chatting me amen. All right. So I'm going to really stress with the directors. Yeah, thank you, Roland. Stress with Jeremy, Miguel, Ben, John, that it needs to be coming from them for their teams to pay you, because it really stinks if you feel like you've asked somebody for their $100 or $200 and they just don't pay it. So the main thing is that you tell your parents what you need, and if you cannot get them to pay you, you need to alert your coach, or like if Miguel, if you're in Hilton Head, Ben Weaver, if you're Savannah, Jeremy, and and John Miller Ace. Please, please, please do not get $3,000 in the hole and then be really mad at us because so and so hasn't paid their fees in 12 years. So we really, really will try hard to help you get the money from the players, but we need to know who those are. If you're more comfortable telling me, that's fine. I'll make sure to pass it on. And if in Savannah, I know most of the parents and I can go find them. But in Hilton Head, we'll just put Christina and Jessica on that. All right, so scholarship players. Storm gives out scholarships for registration fees and team fees and uniform fees at various levels. And so you will be notified if there's any players on your team that get their team fees covered. And we're almost done with that. And then we will mail you a check for those fees. We'll give you a good chunk of it, and then when you get to October, November, in the fall, and you know exactly how much your end of the season tournament's going to cost, etc., we'll mail you the rest. G is kind of important there that players pay for the entire season, even if they miss an event. And so if you've budgeted for 10 kids and 2 of them say, never mind, I've got ballet, they don't get their money back. On the select side, if we're doing some roster shuffling, sometimes the 01 boys will be playing with the 99 boys, and the same thing with the girls and all that stuff. We can discuss how we're going to charge players. So obviously, we don't want to charge players if they're not invited to that event. That's different than if they were invited and they didn't go. The coach travel fees. This is mostly for just for your information for the academy team managers, but for the select team managers, if you're traveling on your own, this is what you pay directly to the coach. They get $40 per day per diem. The hotel room, in which you can just put on your card, get your reward points, and then they get 50 cents per mile for however far they had to go. There it says they're paid directly to the coach. But the big but is if multiple teams are attending an event, then we share. And so the RPL schedule is totally messed up, but there's like 1 or 2 times where where you guys are matched up, and I've shared that sheet with you. But the other problem is because of how messed up the schedule is, we're going to have to take 2 coaches sometimes. And so I'll get with everybody on that. But for academy, if we're all going to go to Charleston, all the coaches ride together, they room together, and so all you've got to do is put in a placeholder of I think I've got it later on, but like $250, $300 for your team, and then that will cover your team's portion. You don't have to figure out $40 a day, $500 in hotel rooms, all this mileage. So the coaches are really good about that, and then so if it's a group event that I've set up, then you guys will just write us a check, and then we'll give the coaches their money. But if you're a select team manager, you give the coach the money. All right. Good question, Roland. What if the hotel has complimentary breakfast? Are we still giving them $40 or deduct $10 for the breakfast? I will say TBD. I am all about. I believe this weekend when the boys were up at CISA and we had Miguel, John Cott, and Evans, I believe they did get cut for that, but that's not the typical. So I will add that to the questions for Jeremy. Let's see here. Okay, so for people that are new, we have 2 different things. 2 different out-of-town events. There's a tournament and there's a friendly. A tournament is where you have to go on a website, you have to register for that tournament, you have to pay them a lot of money, and then fill out all sorts of paperwork. A friendly is where we don't have to register, but we just go up to Greenville and play some teams for it's just our club playing another club. So if you're in a tournament situation, which is, like I said, probably just once a season for the academy teams, maybe twice. The hotel for tournaments, they make you book with them. you've got to, the second we know where we're going, you need to go get on that, because you need to get a block of rooms, and all that kind of stuff. And so when we know you're going to the Charleston shootout on October 10th, or whatever, I'll give you guys the website to register, and then it'll say you have to use the tournament office for hotel rooms, and then you will get a block of rooms. What's really important is that you do not use your own credit card to secure those rooms. It'll just be a block, and then you'll forward that link to the parents. And then if they book, great. And if they don't book, then they're going to have to pay way too much for a room when it comes to that. But for friendlies, what I do is I'll get a block of rooms. And so when the boys went up to CISA, I got a block of rooms, and then I'll email out the link, and we'll just do all that internally. For friendlies, it's not required. It's just good for morale. I do as best I can to get a good rate, make sure that we've got queens and all that stuff. So for friendlies, I'll take care of that. Registration. So for tournaments, you guys are responsible for registering for tournaments. There's soccer in college and got soccer, and I'll briefly go over those. So the very first tournament you ever do with your team is terrible. You've got to get all your roster in. You got to get their birth year in, their email, their jersey number, and all that stuff. But once you get it set up properly in the system, the next one will be a lot easier, and you'll figure it out. And so it's going to ask you for an official roster, a permission to travel, medical release forms, player passes, all that stuff. And so I provide you guys everything that I can from our end, which would be the official roster and the player passes. You're going to have to request permission to travel. You're going to have to go chase parents down to sign the stupid medical release form, things like that. But that's really, in terms of being a team manager at the academy level, that's going to be pretty. That's going to be a little bit of time there, but that's the worst thing. Sean's asking, do we need to close our SunTrust accounts? Going back to banking, no. So Jeremy and I are gonna try to get over to a SunTrust this week after camp, and we're theoretically gonna have all the accounts and all the balances in there. If you're a team manager that is collecting money for South Carolina or R3PL or whatever, we will communicate with you about that. But we'll close them personally for you guys. And then, like I said, we might have to have closed the ones that are actually active right now in a little bit. But we'll do that for you guys. All right, let's see here. Registration. Oh, okay. So the tournament entry fee has got to be paid by you guys. And then most of the tournaments now are doing online check-in, but you guys are responsible for checking the team in. And like I said, it's a little tricky the first time, but I'm able to help you guys check in. I can see everybody, both in soccer and college and got soccer, and so I can try to help figure out what's going wrong. And that's something that I guess I should have said off the top, but there's really no reason why you can't call, text, email me. There's really no stupid questions, or please don't spend 3 hours trying to upload a player pass. If something's going wrong, just stop and give me a call, and I'll see if I can help you out. So definitely don't want that to stress you out. Okay, so Affinity. Let's see here. Head back over here. Okay, so this is the screen that you should see with Affinity. When you, let me go back here for a second. So when you register, that's up here. But when you want to do something with your team, that's over here. And so me and Affinity do not get along. So for whatever reason, it won't let me log in the regular way. Okay, so I'm going to show you your account. Should look something like this. What cracks me up is Affinity is like, don't make duplicate accounts. And then they jacked up my registrar/coach/parent account so bad they had to make me a new profile. So I have 2 profiles, but you can see my 2 kids there. And then that's a test kid for registration purposes. But anyway, if I were to view details for me, you can look down here and you can see that I'm on currently on the O1 Boys Black team, hopefully soon to be remedied by two of the members of the web of the video teleconference. But you'll be able to see your team there. If I click View Team Info, then you'll be able to see who's in as administrators, and then you will see your roster there. And so if you check there, you can email everybody that way if you want to do that. I believe once you're activated, you should be able to see more than that. Like usually they'll have the emails on there. I'm not sure why that looks like that, but anyway, so that's you. So you need to have your team in there, and then you can look in here and see that I've got my background check done, that I've been put in for as an admin, and that's how we can see that kind of thing. Now for your kid, if you're ever interested, you can you can go to view details on your kid and say, well, who's on my kid's team? And you can go down here to my applications. This is the money here if you ever need to pay money for something. But if you go to teams, you can see that Ashley is on the O3 Girls Black team info. And then I can see my kids info. And this info is available to all the parents, not just the team managers. All right. So say you're going to click on a kid. Let's see. I think, man, for one of the team managers, can you guys usually see that they've got their birth certificate and photo and all that stuff when it's activated? Anybody? Or is this what it normally looks like?
I see it in a different screen.
Yeah, it's this is weird. So like let's see here. I'm going to go back. But I'll show you what. So like for me, I'm in as a registrar, but if I go in and I pick a team here, let's say O4 Boys Black, for example, I can see, does that more what it looks like? With the picture and the birth certificate for you guys, you see that sometimes? Yeah. Okay. So I think it might be because the teams aren't activated yet. But anyway, so here I can see that the B with a check means that their birth certificate has been checked. So O4 Black's looking good. Is old DeWalt on here? He's the good job. All right. So anyway, so you can see the kids on here, and then I don't think you can do print ID card. I thought you could, but that's where I'll print that, and things like that. And then so here's some tabs, and then if you go to tournament, okay, you can see that that these guys, let's just say the challenge league, whatever, when you they're not activated yet, but you can do a new tournament and anything state right there. And then if you are going to go travel out of state, there's where the travel roster is. You can create a new request, put in the tournament information, you keep going. But this is kind of what this is the spot for you to do things in Affinity. Let's see here. Okay. And so I think everybody's registered for their league. But if you are a select team manager, you got to get your team registered. And then I think I just went through all this. You can see the team info. Click travel roster to start a travel request. Click team roster to see the player details. Permission to travel. Now there is, I'm just doing a quick overview here for you guys today, but Say you're '07 Hilton Head Boys Black and you need to take '07 Boys blue Hilton Head player, you're going to have to make a travel roster in this travel request. And so those are the steps here if you needed to add players from our club, or if you were going to get a player, um, from Savannah United or GPS or whatever. There's instructions in the protocol on how to do it, and then I'd also be happy to talk you through that. The main thing about tournament rosters is if you are in state with South Carolina tournaments, you do not pay the $30. It's jerry rigged, where you go through everything and then you say, you go through everything and then you say, I'm going to pay by check, and then they don't take the check. So anyway, we ran into an issue. This is I put just some random stuff that people needed last year. Club pass removal. If you are the '04 Boys Black and you're taking an '05 boy with you for the game, then you can club pass them, and there's different rules for that about club passing, but Affinity glitches, and so once you hit 5 players, it won't let you add another one, even because they've been used in the season, which is just wrong. So this is how to get around it. All right, and then same thing with the digital player passes. The older team managers, I will certainly make sure you can see them before you go to your first league game. This is the website, and we can go there real fast, but since I was not, let's see here, since I was not a team manager, it doesn't really show me much. Let's see here. So this is and this will look pretty good on your phone as well. And so, so right now, you can see the different players. I have no idea why Zach is red there. But when your season has the schedule in there, there'll be more options there, and you'll be able to add things and stuff to that. But this is the same, like I said, the same login, and you're supposed to be able to see a lot of different stuff. And anyway, we'll certainly talk you through that. But right now, it's kind of hard to see because we don't have our schedule yet. The scheduling meeting is next Sunday, so hopefully within the week or so after that, we should have our league games. But anyway, so this is information on how to get your kids active on that. Okay, team budget. All right, here we go. Roland's budget did a really good job last year. For select, the reason why I like this format is that it showed, it's got the tournaments on there, and then it's also got the league games, because it is a little bit hard to track, how much money it should be. And say you've got a game Saturday and Sunday, then do we, mileage is only one time. And so it's just, it seems to work best to have each game listed in there. And then you do not get mileage or per diem or anything if you're in Hardeeville or close to Hardeeville, like Bluffton or I can't remember if we give it for John Paul or not, but anyway, you can do that, and then when you add it all up, you figure it out, and then send it to me, and then we'll take a look at it, make sure you didn't forget anything, and then we'll send it out to the players. Now, the good thing too is that if you're off, it'll get you started for the spring season. So I always recommend putting in a little buffer there. And for example, if you're going to do an out of season tournament, so the coming right back, they went to the Savannah United girls tournament. You need to get that money, before everybody runs off at the end of the season. For the academy one, pretty simple here. Not much going on, just a couple tournaments, and then down here We'll always just say estimate 10 games of the local league games. And then I've got the referee fees for each level listed elsewhere, but 10 games, $14, divided by number of players, and then that'll do it. And so, yeah, Roland's saying here he can send the spreadsheet to anyone who'd like it, and it's really handy. And then what I also like about Roland's is on the second tab, he's got a list of every single player and how much they've paid and whether they're scholarship or not. And then obviously that's really good information for between the club and the team manager, but we wouldn't be sending that out to everyone. But it's just keeping track of all the events everyone is paid for and stuff like that. So here's the known fees. RPL, the Challenge League. So if you're gonna have State Cup, it's $750, which the older kids have it in the fall and the younger kids have it in the spring. So if you're younger, $500. PMSL, which is the lower level, is $500. If you're Academy, $0. For referees in South Carolina and for our Academy, you have to get cash, and then you pay the referee. So if you are the 05 boys black team manager, then here we are down here, the SCSL, then it's $50 per team. You pay one assistant referee $30, and then you play half of the center ref for $20. So 30 plus 20 is 50. The other team is responsible for the other linesman and then the other half of that ref. And that's all done in cash, and I don't know why, but that's South Carolina for you there. For Academy games, it's $12 per game per team. So, if 07 Black, Hilton Head's playing 07 Black Savannah, they each give the referee $12 cash, and $14 cash if it's the older team. I already talked about the tournament fees, coach travel fees, and the miscellaneous. The $100 is probably a little high for Academy teams, but it goes fast with the select teams. So that's that. All right, so that's the protocol, and I certainly would love to talk to you all about that more, especially for the newer team managers. And I'm going fast, but I just wanted everybody to be on the same sheet of music there. I've got 9 minutes till the U.S. women's national team kicks off. Okay, I can do this. I believe the next thing is, yes, soccer in college. Okay, 99% of our tournaments go through soccer in college. I set everyone up today, I think. So if you got some random email about an account or a team has been added to your account, that's what I was doing. We haven't set up Got Soccer yet. But what you do is you go to Soccer and Sports, you make sure you're logged in, and then I'm obviously connected to a lot of things, but you will be connected to a team. And so we'll go with, say, let's see here. All right, this is the old one. Okay, so when you're in your team page, this is what it looks like. If you see this logo, that means that you are working in soccer in college. Now, watch what happens when you click that button. It'll say events you're registered for. And so we'll go to a past event. Watch, if I click that, then I'm now managing my team in the Shamrock Cup. And so it's really important for you to know where you are. So the first step for everybody is to be in soccer in college and then go to your roster and then get it correct for the year. This was my roster from last year for the 05s. If you were to get all of these, you get all the kids in, you put in there, you get everything in 100% correctly. Then when you go to your tournament and you're registering for the Torment FC Nike Cup, then that roster, you just pull in the kids that you've already got on your list. Okay, so a lot of people do it backwards and then they think they've got to type it in every time. Let's see here. So anyway, so just make sure that when you are going in there and messing around, that you're in the Soccer and College logo. And then, so for staff, um, for you'll have your coach on there, you'll have your manager on there. It'll show you your results. If you're curious, you can see the teams and where your ranking is and all that stuff. But when you are in a tournament situation, I'm not sure that this will work. Let's see if this will work because it's a past thing. But if you go to tasks, I'm in the Savannah United tournament for that Shamrock Cup we did. If I go to tasks, here's where I can get going on my online check-in. So that's the little hint for how to get there. So you go to online check-in, and then you see here it's closed. But if it were open, then you do step A, B, C, D, print the documents, and away you go. And then you can see that, oh no, I'm lost. So you can always go back here, go to my account, my homepage, and then you can get back to where you started. So for our Tormenta clubs, oh man, I didn't see. I'm still in the Shamrock Cup, so I go back to my account, my homepage. Let's get back to this stinking. All right, let me see here. Anyway, we are going for all of our team names now. We're flipping it to Tormenta FC / Storm SA for another year, and then we're going to just be Tormenta FC. So I went in and fixed all the clubs today and dropped old people and added new people. So you can see here that the 01 Boys Black still need a new team manager, but everyone else is looking good. I created our new 09s here, so you should be seeing that stuff. So anyway, this is the main application that you use, and then we've also got soccer. Ben Weaver's gonna get everybody's name squared away in here, but the SRPL is done through Got Soccer, and so if you went and looked at the 99 Girls Black, sessions expired, login, and you go to Vince, you can see all the things that they've done over the years, and see how this is going. So anyway, all right, so if I were to go to here, you can see you can put all your stuff in and all that. So anyway, so got soccer in college. That's good. And then I think that is it. So does anybody have any questions here? You can either type it in or unmute, whatever. You can do the chat. Hello, who we got? Let's see here. Oh, anybody trying to talk? Are we good? Oh, Christine, are you trying to ask about how to record the game score? The ogres? No. So I've never are you talking about doing that in the league, Christina?
Oh, let me see if I can unmute.
No, you're good. I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. In that one section where you had logged in where it'll show the player cards, that's where we record the scores.
Let's see here. It was the not that one. It was the player pass one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're saying that that's an important thing, is that you record, and is it the responsibility of both teams to record it, or just the winning team or the losing team?
I think the home team has to, but both of us have access to record it. So if there was a discrepancy, I guess it's kind of checks and balance that way.
Right. Okay. And I need to add that to the protocol for sure. I haven't managed a select team, so I haven't had to do that. Any other things that are popping to mind about good to knows?
Mm, no.
Okay. Well, thanks for spending an hour. I'm gonna I'll get this recording up as well. So if anybody missed it in there, then whatever, that's fine. But yeah, Roland's saying that he did it both. And another thing, the good thing about that site is on your phone is that when you click that link on your phone, it actually is a pretty good interface. And so the referee is supposed to have the player passes on the referee's phone, and it doesn't work out. And so as a team manager, it's always good to have that together. So anyway, well, thanks for spending your time with me. Send me an email if you've got any questions, or give me a call. And then I'll just be in touch with specifics based on your team. We'll talk to everybody later.